Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. So, the crazy market dynamic world continues, everyone. Sit back, relax as we discuss the state of Magic the Gathering and Pokemon. This video was kind of spurred by a patron sending me a message saying, Rudy, is there anything we can do to, I know, here it comes, force stores from not canceling pre-orders or not filling the orders or all these things, and what can we do? Can we go after them? Is there a legal thing we can do? And so, okay, folks, this happens once every couple of years when the market shifts on us, and we go from this. So I think I want to step back in this video and just talk about what's happening in the mindset of everything. I think we're gonna have to. We're gonna convert this video to more of a conversation about the state, more of a psychology approach. So I think that's going to be the next 30 minutes. That's what we're going to talk about today. I think people are just so led by emotions. They don't understand the ebbs and flows of market cycles. Depending where we are on things going up or down is going to dictate which internet police outrage mob comes after you, right? So, for example, on this Pokemon situation with Surging Sparks, I got all kinds of negativity, criticism, and all kinds of attacks and threats and lost patrons because I sold my Surging Sparks for $138, $139 for 2 or 4 packs, and everybody got angry about it, and I said, okay. And I literally put on the post, I said, you guys want to buy it? Buy it. If you think it's a ripoff, don't do anything. I told you guys in the last 3 to 4 weeks with Surging Sparks, unless, I'm going to say that I'm a broken record, unless we get a reduction in demand, or the company prints to oblivion and fucks themselves, the prices of Surging Sparks will be over $200 a box. I told you all my price target was $200 to $250. I told you all if you think it's a ripoff, don't buy it and just be a Timmy on the internet. I said this stuff in multiple videos the last 3 to 4 weeks. As of the filming of this video, Surging Sparks is $185 plus tax, so about $201 shipped now, with absolutely insane demand. No reduction with sell-through rate and everything. So not only did I tell you all 3 weeks ago this is going to be a $200 to $250 box, and the only way that would stop is either buyers all back away and we see a reduction of liquidity and sell-through rate, or number 2, Pokemon USA comes out and just says we're going to do massive reprints wave. And even then, even when they do reprints, it doesn't matter. We've been through this with Mr. P. We've been through this with Roaring Skies. Been through with Evolutions. Been through with Ultra Prism. Anyways, and the problem is there's so much noise online, and it leads individuals and it leads companies to make bad choices. Because on the surface, you want to react based on what the public is saying. Right now, the public is yelling, we want more boxes of Surging Sparks. Scalpers, spam, all this. The internet mob machine is now going to the companies and the people and the HR and the PR, and they're trying to yell at them to make more and increase print run. Now, Pokemon doesn't give 2 fucks. They don't care. You think that outrage mobs, cancel cultures, this and that, they don't give 2 shits. And that's one of the reasons they are the king. That's the reason that Pokemon sealed boxes and long-term collectors and investors and players, not as many players, mostly collectors in Pokemon. That's the reason they are considered the blue chip, and they are considered the king in the CCG world when it comes to sealed product. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little update. First, I'd like to say, based on what I'm seeing, I'm going to revise my opinion. I told you all in the last 3 weeks, over 3 or 4 videos, in the data, I said $200 to $250 a box for Surging Sparks, unless we get one of those 2 variables that derail us. I am now going to revise my opinion. Sometimes I have so much fun with this stuff. I can't believe this is my life. I'm going to revise my opinion. The Surging Sparks will be $300. And I think it's going to be $300 box. On the low side, $250. I am now revising $250 to $300. it could even do 325-ish before kind of topping out, before people realize it's so expensive they back away. I'm going to revise the 250 to 300. And that's not based on print runs. It's not based on people online. That's based on the current sell-through rate. I made a video a week ago telling you all I felt the next catalyst was going to be the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday, Stepsister Tuesday, and Rudy Repair Wednesday. I believe that surge and spike with the cashback discounts on TCG Play was going to be the next leg up to 200. That was my prediction. Now, I was wrong in that it's accelerating faster than the rate I expected. So, it does, and again, the holiday blitz of spending usually rises, or it'll raise the price of hot products 10 to 20% just from that blitz. Okay? So again, if surging is 185 as it is filming, that could easily move it to the 210s, 220s. Now, before we go back to the psychology of everything, I'm going to tell you all very clearly. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of things I've been working on that I haven't disclosed with the public or the patrons or everybody out there. Actually, number one, I am in the process of, by the time you watch this, it should be sealed, of acquiring actually a pallet of Surging Sparks, and I paid pretty hefty penny for it over market price. And I'm getting that shipped in and dealing with it, and I'm paying literally like double wholesale. So what did I sell to patrons? 138, 139. So technically, I am buying more Surging Sparks at a higher price than what I sold to patrons for immediately. That I told you all would be a ripoff. So I am looking to get a more position, because I also know when we do get the reprint of Surging Sparks, the euphoria and the dopamine and the adrenaline of this, what's happening in the market's too powerful, and we're not even going to see a slight, the downtick or reset is going to be so minuscule, it'll almost feel muted, or it'll almost feel like it didn't happen. Number two, I'm in the process of still buying out some other stores and collections, and that includes large positions in Sorcery, Arthurian Legend booster boxes. So by the time you watch this video, you guys know I do have a Sorcery, Arthurian Legend sale coming up, which by the time you watch this, it may be over with. And, you know, I am continuing to acquire more Arthurian Legend boxes from multiple sources all over the United States that have extra boxes, are concerned about pricing, whatever it is. I'll take them. And I've been buying that. And to get more, and that'll continue. Same thing with Magic the Gathering. We are seeing in Magic the Gathering, I am continuing. I am actually involved. I don't want to give details, but I'm currently in the middle of one of the largest vintage sealed booster box collection of the 1990s for Magic the Gathering that I've ever purchased, ever in my life. We're about halfway through, and it is beyond what you guys can comprehend. I haven't said anything publicly. I haven't shared anything. I haven't showed pictures. But I will tell you all this. It's an insane amount of money. And this behind-the-scenes thing I'm working on from this, I think it was a store from the 90s. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in the middle of this deal. It's over 300 sealed boxes of 1990s Magic the Gathering. Over 300 boxes. 4th edition Ice Age, Mirage, Weatherlight, Visions. I mean, just breathtaking. So I'm in the middle of that. It's the first time I've even brought this up. There's going to be some videos coming in December where I reveal everything and show this stuff and what the plans are, but there's some big things with that. So I'm in the middle of still a lot of accumulation between, you know, restocking sorcery products to run more sales to you all and patrons. Restocking and going after all these Magic sealed products and old cards that nobody wants. I'm in the process of obviously building the largest sealed Pokemon of modern Pokemon in pretty much, I don't know about the world, I can't prove that, but in the United States I'm trying to be, you know. So I'm involved with deploying a lot of capital and accumulating and doing these things with different products. And of course, before you guys beat me up too, I'm also involved with massive position building in One Piece, between the premium boosters coming up here and OP7 and 8. After they did those last reprint restocks, those final waves, I've been trying to go after all of them from all the stores that are negative, and I've been absorbing a lot of these cases of One Piece because I know that they've learned their lesson, and I have an email to myself that the massive reprints that I told myself in the bathroom are over with, right? Because that's what I texted myself. So between the sorcery, the One Piece, even then, and by the way, in Weiss, there's a lot of Weiss sets that have been very attractive lately. And some of these Weiss sets, like the chase cards and the SPs for the good old waifu girls, like some of these cards are sold out. The prices are crazy. And some of the sealed boxes, there's loose stragglers, but I don't like those cheap loose ones on, again, folks, remember that on Weiss, if you're into that kind of stuff, don't be like, Rudy, I found one box for $40 and the rest are like 80 or 60. Just don't, be careful, folks, because they're cheap for a reason. Somebody probably opened the case, found 2 major hits, and then just dumped the rest of the boxes and made their money. So just be careful of that, folks. It's Weiss box prices are very, very confusing. I shouldn't have eaten all those waffle fries. Man, I can't talk to you guys. I'm getting hiccups now. So that's what I've been working on privately. It's been a big thing, a lot of reveals, and it allows me to keep running special sales and different things. Now, back to just the psychology of today's video. To go back to the beginning of this video to address this individual's concerns, just a pro tip piece of advice to everybody right now. If you're into Magic and you're into Pokemon, we're going to just focus on these two, okay? I don't want to bring up all the different card games, but just if you're into Magic and Pokemon right now, you need to understand that if you're into Pokemon, this new prismatic evolutions with the Eevee, I'm going to tell you right now, the allocations are going to be so low, stores are going to oversell, and it's going to fucking skyrocket in price. Instead of me being able to get X amount of thousands of ETBs, I'll probably get 10, 20, 30% of what I'm requesting. Number one, you need to move on and accept that $99 Pokemon boxes are over with in this cycle. It's over with. It's not coming back. And being angry at your local store, being angry at your local drive-thru, being angry at your local waffle fry producer, being angry at YouTubers, influencers, all the top-of-the-line people on Reddits and Discords and social media, the people who spend their life on those places that, make the tech billionaires into trillionaires, right? That's what we do. Those voices and a lot of the squeaky wheels don't represent the mass population in the opinion. Most people are understanding that the prices in the direction of the market, this is the new normal. And I can tell because you have some people, I can tell because I see people online, I told everybody at the beginning, if you see Surging Sparks below 130 from any store, pre-order from all of them. I told patrons, anything below 150, you should buy it all. I ran my sale for the 130 at 139. And you know what? Some patrons knew. The longer term patrons, I sorted my spreadsheet by patron age, and I noticed immediately that the longer term patrons knew. They're the ones that have been through the cycles. I could tell they knew what was coming. And a lot of the shorter term patrons who are maybe less than a year kind of thing, you can see how nervous they're very $99, $90. You can see the difference from experience in people who risk management, they analyze it, versus the people who just lash out with emotions and volatility. So remember that, folks. So let's before we close up the Pokemon thing and move to Magic. Pokemon understands, they are ran really well. I'm going to be very blunt, and it's going to piss some of you all off, okay? And again, that's, I guess you can ban Rudy, cancel. Can you cancel culture Rudy? We'll ban him, right? And I'll just make a video that Rudy got banned. Again. Now, if I get banned twice, does that undo the first ban? Is it like magnetic poles or like an on-off switch? If you flick it up and down, does it? I don't know. So I'm going to be very blunt with you all. Okay? Pokemon, more than anybody in the world, they understand the golden rule. And I'm going to say it like I did, sitting in this chair a year and a half ago. If you overprint, you will pay the price. And Pokemon is looking at a situation. They will not overprint Pokemon. They can make the print runs large, which they already do. They're doing the best they can. But based on the size of the market, the sell-through rate, trust me, Pokemon, just like most other card games in the world, the people at the top, they are checking TCG Player. They check the prices of their own products. They know when the prices are soft, they're high, they're going up. These people know. And Pokemon knows what they're doing. Pokemon, this whole thing of this, well, they're gonna print to the ground in oblivion. They're gonna overprint, destroy their own brand. They're not a new card game. They're not a Kickstarter thing. Okay, they know what they're doing. They're not some weird. These people have the experience. Pokemon is not going to be overprinted, and Surging Sparks is not going to crash to $70, $80 like Roaring Skies 2.0, because the company understands that. Now, we could always have an outlier or a black swan event where suddenly, by the time you watch this video, the whole world's collapsing, or nuclear war, and the US dollar goes to zero and everything gets distorted. We have the biggest crash in our lifetime. And, well, Rudy was wrong and it goes back to $70. We can always have an extreme event, and that can affect everybody. I mean, that's just part of life. But I'm telling you all right now, Nintendo, Pokemon, I don't know why I always bring up Nintendo. I always picture the old Nintendo games. It's just teenage Rudy. I'm just telling you all, and I want you guys to understand out there. They understand the concept that the squeaky wheel online that sends messages to Pokemon, you need to reprint my boxes. I saw this. Or I love the ones that report to Pokemon, report to distributor. You got to ban this store. They're too expensive. They're selling over MSRP. They're selling under MSRP. Trying to, kind of their way of getting back at stores or thing. This stuff doesn't work. And the people who've done this for a long time, and they know to kind of take it all with a grain of salt, and they have the mental capacity and stability, they know that the squeaky wheel online of these handful of people, they know to go, that's great, pulling for you. They understand the smile and nod, and they understand the, we're here for you in the community. They understand using the term community. They understand what to say to make the more weaker-minded people feel that fuzziness. They get it. So I'm going to move on from Pokemon, but go back to this thing. So number one, to approach what we have coming in 2025, with Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, number one, if you're a Rudy patron, I'll be able to get you product. You'll have some, but the volumes and the quantity you're probably going to want, which is like multiple cases of every Pokemon set, I'm not going to be able to help you with. Okay? It is what it is. Okay? Number two, Magic the Gathering, collector boxes, and limited or special, when we have the next master set and limited thing. Collector boxes in Magic, Wizards understands. They're not going to say it publicly. They don't want to ruin the fuzzy, warm feeling of community. Wizards and Hasbro have learned. Cynthia Williams, the president, is gone. She's back to slinging cigarettes. Or Funko, is she really doing Funko Pops? Oh, God. The most toxic Beanie Baby 2.0 company, they would hire that person. Holy hell. A company that's struggling, that invented 2.0 Beanie Babies, trying to people get invest in Funko Pops. They, out of everyone in the world to pick, they would pick the queen bee of cigarettes and overprinting. Wow. I think that's true. Somebody confirm if she really... Oh, my God. Dude, that's crazy. Anyways, but even collector boxes of Magic. I'm going to have, just like I do, every Pokemon set, every Magic set, I offer all these new products of all these different companies to the thousands of you guys, to the viewers. I talk about this. I talk to you guys. That's not going to change. But what is going to change is the quantity restrictions. The days where I could sell you a 24, when I ran my Wildsville Drain sale over a year ago, Wildsville Drain collectors, like a master case of 24 boxes. I don't know, what was it, like 185 or 189 or something for collector boxes? And I'll be honest with you guys, it was still met with what a ripoff. And I remember the comments in the account closures. I think maybe 4, like less than 1%. It might have been 0.1% of the patrons actually bought that. It was wild, man. And that's how today I have 1,000 or 1,100 boxes of Wildsville Drain collectors. That's how these things happen. So I think right now everything's a perspective problem. I think the issue right now is everybody trying to navigate, and a lot of people using the perspective of the previous cycle with the new cycle. I think right now it's a struggle for people to grasp how much things have changed. And when you look at this stuff, Pokemon didn't overprint. They held the line, and that's why they're a multi-billion-dollar company. Wizards and Magic, with the lead of Philip Morris, Cynthia, they ramped up printing and supply, and they destroyed and they damaged themselves, and then they had to correct course. And they did a lot of damage. See, the beautiful thing is of a big company like Pokemon Magic, when they screw up, they're so big and they have such a history of success, they can screw up and get away with it. And that's the dirty truth. When the companies are so big, they can make mistakes, and they can overprint, release a bad product with no good cards, and it can collapse. Stores fire sale, things start moving around, people take losses and write-offs, and people like me and people like you we still buy Magic. We love it and we do it, just like and that's the difference. Once you build that track record long term, it's easier to overcome the missteps. So back to the very beginning of this video about, Rudy, what can I do as a normal person about stores canceling pre-orders of certain Sparks, or they never shipped my product and they relisted it for a higher price? The short answer is, what you can do is just don't buy from the store. If literally the store runs a sale selling brand new, the prismatic evolutions, these ETBs and these specialty blister packs and what's coming. Remember, this next Pokemon set in January, there are no booster boxes. It's a specialty set. And this is a really, really, really hot, fucking crazy, good old Eevee, prismatic evolutions with little Eevee, and cute little thing everybody loves. This thing is going to be insane. And it is what it is. I have no idea how much it's going to skyrocket or swing up and down. I don't know. I'm just telling you, the demand side of the equation is so beyond what we can all comprehend. The normal print run of a specialty set, it's going to be messy. So my advice is to just, I would pre-order some cases from multiple stores. Make sure you're ordering from stores you trust, and make sure you understand. No one right now has firm allocation numbers. Nobody knows the exact amount of all the product they're going to get from every distributor and every source. That data is not known. So if you find stores and people pre-selling shit to you and taking your money and holding it risk-free as a loan for 2 months, understand they are guessing how many they're going to get. They have no idea the exact number. Me, I'm over here like, give me 4,000 or 5,000 prismatic evolutions ETBs. And honestly, if I could get 4,000, I'd buy them all. And you know as well as I do, there ain't no way. I'm hearing rumors of chatter, backroom chatter from the drive-thru about stores getting allocated and will be allocated to 1, 2, 3 cases of prismatic evolution ETBs. So like 10 ETBs is a case. So like 2 cases for a small store. That's what I'm hearing. Like a startup store that's maybe only a few months old, like 1 case. A store that's maybe a year old with low volume, maybe 2 cases. Like, I'm hearing numbers that are scary, which means I'm not going to be able to, I said, whatever I get, I'll take. So you can't, see, here's the thing. It's not good behavior for stores to do that, but stores do that because historically, many market cycles come out and products drop at release, and the buyers cancel the order. They don't want to buy it. So the concept of pre-ordering was invented so stores could get an idea of how many people wanted it. They could lock in the price in advance, and they could kind of, helps the cash flow and kind of get customer money up front, or a deposit, or, that kind of thing. Well, if you've been around the block a long time and you've been through the full Monty cycle, you'll understand a few things. That works in boring to flat to bear markets, because when it comes out, if it drops, your customers, some of them cancel. All the people over the years, I've had, 50, maybe 100 Rudy clones, Rudy patron account knockoffs who've copied my business from the last decade, trying to copy, and they've learned all kinds of lessons. And I've had ex-patrons copying this and that. I've had all kinds of stuff. I've seen it all. Some of it's flattering. Some of it's, they built it on just bashing me, and we'll all do it better without the Rudy scum. Everybody has their own thing. I don't believe in, building a business based around bashing other people, but I think you just do better doing the best you can and letting nature take its course. You're still going to make mistakes. People are still going to hate you, and you can't make everybody like you. And if you try to make everyone like you, that is the only path of guaranteed failure and guaranteed everybody will hate you. You can't do it. There's nothing I can do to get the Game Piece Army to like me, because they have 5 roommates in a 1-bedroom apartment. Again, you would be just as angry as me and just as angry as those people if the toilet didn't work and I came in that room on a Friday night and I've got a Taco Bell party pack and the toilet's broken and you got 5 roommates stacked on top of each other and no one's wearing any clothes. You'd be just as upset. So I understand why the Game Piece Army is upset. I understand why they go on social media. Why? I can't. Your game is dead. Pokemon is dead. I can't get boxes. I get it. I don't agree with it, but I also listen to it because it helps me learn how the other people are thinking out there. And that's important to know, everybody. So, piece of advice for you all is understand that orders and pre-orders, if you're going to take that path, they are going to get canceled. Understand, most likely, we are in an environment where prices are going to go up. Okay? I would also expect in 2025, there's a pretty good probability Pokemon is going to see the success, and they're going to raise prices. There's probably a pretty good probability that Wizards of the Coast and Magic will raise prices again also. There's a pretty good chance that across the board we do see, because it's historically corporations and businesses, when things are in certain segments of the market cycle, they lean into it. Again, that's the difference between an established, non-pressured, non-sponsored, not controlled Rudy or business, because you have to make the decisions that are against the grain. When things suck and things are tanking and nobody wants magic boxes, nobody wants collector boxes, all these draft boxes, oh God, Kamigawa draft. Rudy, you still slinging that shit? Oh, didn't you sell Brothers War? And oh God, didn't you sell like Karlov Manor? I think even Rudy sold Assassin's Creed. I think even Rudy's, oh my God, he sold his Lord of the Rings. Oh wait, no, that one, never mind, that one went up. He sold the Aftermath. It's easy to fit and build narratives that match the internet outrage mob. It's very easy to do that. But the people who make the most success and the people who are able to stand the test of time, that doesn't really matter. And I'm here to tell you all, this market and the money and the size and the people is far bigger and greater than I think the average person can comprehend. And I tell you that because a lot of people still think that, some store or a snowball card, Kingdom, Castles, Snowy Channel, people think that certain companies can control markets or swing prices, or Rudy can control it all. And yeah, we can all have an influence of it, but the market is far greater than any of us, no matter how heavy bags and ball sacks and memes and jokes we have, and no matter how much I think your stepsister is just really, really beautiful and cute. There's no real way to control a market of this caliber, because the amount of money and the size and the deals and the backroom things that go on are beyond what you all understand. And what I've learned over the years is, I understand why companies don't disclose and say things publicly, because the public has a hard time accepting many things and accepting how big or small certain things may be. I get it. It's weird, and we all want to know as much as we can, but there's a weird truth to it. It's awkward. I've learned that. Because I know, like when I make videos like this, or when I send out Patreon posts, I have a sale, or I have a market update, or I have a special announcement of a big thing coming, I know it's going to get screenshotted, and you're going to have people who don't, because there's going to be patrons that are supporting me or supporting you that are there just to screenshot and report or try. There's going to just to literally cause problems. That's just the way they want to live their life. And to go back to what I was saying is, you can't, if you're a store owner, you have to let certain customers go. Don't get fixated on certain segments like that, okay? Don't spend 80% of your time managing the 20% of your customers, okay? Because historically, the smaller portion are the higher problem people or companies or whatever. And then when you're the customer, don't spend your time giving your business to a store that's simply just going to cancel all your orders if the price goes up. And if the price tanks, they're going to ship it to you. And that's why I'm so against pre-orders, folks. I've been on YouTube almost a decade now, and I've told everyone over and over, one of my biggest things I hate about the market in the card world is the whole business model of pre-orders, because it's dangerous, it doesn't work, it's volatile, people change their opinions, life events happen, customers come and go, and depending on which way the wind goes, if the price goes up, everybody feels a certain way. If the price tanks, it's, oh God, we got a stinker. Oh God, you guys didn't pre-order, did you? Dude, you got to get out of that. Dude, lose the $50 deposit. Let's just get out. Like, depending which way it goes, it's like on Wall Street, okay? If a hedge fund is making a certain, I don't want to say, like, if someone's taking a bet for a credit default swap, or taking a derivative bet, or a large option position, or a short, or maybe they're just buying a lot of contracts on anything, whatever. I don't want to take the video that direction. The point is, there's gonna be someone on the other side of that contract or bet. So no matter what the outcome is, one person's happy, one person's upset. And that's essentially why you have a situation on the internet right now the way you do, where some people are just like, woo, to the moon, baby! And then other people are just like, oh, I hope Pokemon fails. Magic is so dead to me. I am never playing SpongeBob versus Rudy's Hairy Arms. I'm swinging for 4 on Transformers, play my Sarah Angel, as literally Bearscape comes in. Well, Buttercup, welcome to 2024. You can be angry, you can quit, you can throw a tantrum online, but sometimes you gotta go outside, smell some fucking grass, lick the concrete, dig a hole, be a carrot, think about what the fuck you're doing with your life. Because, folks, the best piece of advice is to just understand the market you're in, understand the money, capital in your personal situation. Do you have the ability to collect or invest into card games? Do you have the ability to hold things? Are you in debt? How's your career? Do you have good income? How's your family situation? What's your health like? Is everything else taken care of? Are you leveraging to short-term flip? Well, what happens if the short-term flip drops and you get stuck with it and you can't liquidate for the loss because it's borrowed money? And then you need everyone's situation is different. Yes, there are not a lot of Rudys out there. Thankfully, I've never met another Rudy at the level or anything that I do at my scale. Thankfully, because I don't think it would be healthy to have a lot of Rudys out there. I'm fucking crazy. My brain doesn't work properly. I'm like, But I think you need to determine what you want to do and what you want to enjoy. Remember that. The whole point of doing this is because I enjoy it. That's it! Number 1. Hierarchy of Rudy needs. Number 1, I enjoy it. Number 2, it makes money, which feeds my enjoyment and fuels the video game that I feel like I play with my life. And number 3, honestly, if I had to pick a different industry, yeah, I could go back to restaurants and different things and food and maybe businesses and franchises and take on Taco Bell or take on Chick-fil-A or I could do different things in life, but the card world truly is, not to be meme and cliche and cheese fest, but it's a fucking magical thing. And it's a complicated thing. And it's something that's difficult for a lot of people to handle. And remember that, folks, when you're selling or buying cards, I want to leave you all with this final statement. When you're buying and selling cards, always remember, the probability is the person selling you the cards or buying the cards. Maybe it's an employee at a company. Maybe it's just a Rudy patron or a Timmy, or maybe it's just your local Walmart. Most likely, remember, the lifespan of someone who stays in the card world is 6 to 12 months. So that means every 2-3 years that go by, almost the entire pool of buyers, sellers, businesses changes hands, changes employees, changes the market. So it's a weird thing. See, I like to remind you all to step back sometimes. And all this stuff is a psychological game. It's a philosophy of life, because everything changes. And sometimes, like I tell you guys all the time, just stay the infamous stay the course, the Rudy meme of 2020. Because in a long enough time frame, if you don't do anything, everything around you will change. Suddenly, you're just sitting there and you're like, well, What do we got over here? A box of Odyssey. Boy, when this thing came out in 2002, 2003, when this thing came out, please hold. I don't even know. 2001. Oh my God. So when this thing came out in 2001, there's even a sticker on the box. It says $92, November 26, 2001. Can you guys see that? When this thing came out, this was the era Magic was dead, and people said it was terrible, and this was just a crap product, okay? And here we are in 2024, a box of Odyssey. It's not that great. It's a nostalgic set. Foils are worth a ton, multiplier, but it's a rare, expensive box. The box has been exactly the same for the last 23 years. But we've all changed. The world around, everything around the box, the world, the people, the ownership of the box has changed. And now the box is viewed completely different because everything around it has changed. So again, the point of this philosophical talk with everybody is that as we march forward and everything evolves and shifts and changes, you're going to get angry at Rudy. You're going to get angry at certain sellers and stores and individuals or events or, it doesn't matter. You're going to be super happy with certain brands or card games and, but it's going to ever change. And depending on the environment and depending how bad the storm is, you may get angry at Magic and say, oh, you know what? SpongeBob, that's it. I'm out. I'm never buying Magic again. SpongeBob, Magic is dead, And that's a real probability. Some people will quit because they announce a SpongeBob secret lair. Does that really mean anything? I'll be honest with you all, folks. Who the fuck cares? It's like the Marvel disaster because so many people wanted Marvel secret lair. Everyone said, that's it, I'm quitting. I wasted. That's great. I'll see you at the casino on Monday and nothing changes. And that is the knee-jerk emotional response. I've dealt with it for years. I've dealt with it for almost a decade. And it's interesting to see the people who do really well in this industry, the patrons that are long-term in the success of things they bought, the people who are short-term. And, we are entering a moment where I know, because I can tell by the views on my YouTube channel and all the other channels, that we are experiencing an uptick of people coming to the card market. And it's being led by Magic and Pokemon, but it's going to have positive side effects. I expect more continued growth and acceptance and excitement of Flesh and Blood. I expect it in Weiss. I expect it in One Piece. I expect it in the new Sorcery. But I'm still skeptical on Lorcana. And same thing with Star Wars. Be careful as shit. But I'm telling you all, we're going to attract a different breed of new people right now. We're going to bring back the 2021 flippers and scalpers. That's going to be the big thing coming right now. Okay? And historically, this type of mindset and this type of individual that's going to be attracted to the card world, they are definitely going to fit the narrative of a 6 to 12 month lifespan and life cycle of being in this industry. They'll sign up for my Patreon, they'll slip in and they'll buy the one hot thing. You'll never hear from them again. Their account will be closed, they'll get banned and everything, and that's it. And then, you'll have everybody calling up all the local stores around the United States. I've had friends of mine in text messages that own LGSs all over the country. Oh yeah, Rudy, we've already maxed out 20 people for pre-orders of the new Prismatic Evolutions, ETBs, everything. I've already got people asking about the new collector boxes for Innistrad Remastered because they got the fucking poster-looking serialized cards. I've already heard. And, a lot of these people, they're single serving. To quote the good old late 90s, early 2000s era, from Fight Club and some of the infamous time when Hollywood made movies that were truly good. And, some customers, some people in your life, they are single serving friends. They are single serving customers. And that's it. They serve their certain purpose. And life takes you in different directions, and that customer leaves, or that friend leaves, that family member leaves, that coworker leaves, or whatever it may be. And that's part of life. And it's difficult sometimes to accept that life moves in directions that we don't ideally like in the moment. And we don't know why. And the shitty part about life is we gotta wait many times. We got to wait like 5-10 years to understand why certain things happen to us. And then 10 years later, a decade goes by, and we step and we go, well, shit, I'm glad that person left. I mean, that chick was hot, but she had crazy eyes. You know what? I'm glad I'm not working for that company. That company went bankrupt. I would have lost my job anyways. God, that dude, man, that guy was so cool. We used to work together, and he disappeared, and oh man, did you see what happened? I'm glad. Oh my God, I'm glad I wasn't around that guy. I would have gotten tangled in that. That's the weird thing about life. It's the patience. It's the long game. You know, the wealth creation, the wealth transfer from the Timmy to the stores, to the collectors, to the investors, to the evil Rudys, you know, it moves slow. The Timmys want the multiplier, the quick flips, the scalping, that's the Timmy thing. That's what they just, and then they kind of fizzle out, or as we saw in 2008, one downturn in a hard market, they go to zero. And that's just how life works, folks. So conclusion of the video, I promise I'm actually ending it this time. Conclusion of the video, collector boxes and new Magic releases and new Pokemon releases. These hot things, you need to make sure you buy from multiple sources. That's number one. Number two, being angry at stores across the country because boxes of Pokemon or Magic are higher than what they were, and being angry about that at stores or other people or sellers or screeching on the internet. I mean, you can spend your life just being angry, and you can post it into the abyss of the internet for somebody in the world to see, and I don't know, I guess it does something to somebody. That can, you can report a store. You can try to get them banned from the Wizards WPN network. You can try to, cancel culture them and contact the distributor. And you can take that path in life, or you can step back, think about what went wrong, and if you didn't do anything wrong, how you can avoid having something bad happen from the other person or the other counterparty. That's the healthier mindset to have. The next mindset, number four, that's number four, three. Fuck it, number four. The number four is, make sure as we go to this next cycle is keep a level head. Prices will be higher, like we already said. You need to go multiple sources, like we already said. But things are going to go wrong. Things are going to oversell. Stores, secret lairs are going to blow out. Okay. I mean, Marvel, Final Fantasy collector boxes. I didn't even talk about the new Magic Foundations in this video. I mean, I got a separate video on that. This is just normal. And it's been so long since the LGS business model and that products didn't crash in value, people forgot. And now we went from everything crashing and laughing and making fun of it to now being angry because it's going the other direction. You can't get it cheap. That's all that changed. That's it, folks. As I said before, this box of Odyssey is the same fucking box for 22 years. Everything around it, between the people who own the box, where the box has been, and the world has changed. This $90 box that was a low print run failure of the early 2000s when Magic died. Look at the price today. And that is normal. This isn't an outlier, okay? This isn't an outlier, okay? Oh God, that's covered in dust. Jesus Christ. This isn't an outlier, okay? Secret of Evermore. Sealed. SNES. Supposed to be the sequel to Secret of Mana. Again, it just is what it is. Tactics Ogre, PlayStation 1. The world changes. Don't get angry about it. Evolve with it. Be successful. Make good choices. Don't spend the life trying to bash stores and be angry at other people. Just learn from a mistake. If the store hosed you, then just don't pre-order from them again and move on. Nature will take its own course. Stores, do the best you can, just like me. I tell you all the time. I make mistakes all the time. I'm still a human meat popsicle. Do the best you can. Life will work out. All right, Rudy's penis.